If you're a business owner struggling to figure out what you should be posting on social media, or maybe you're an aspiring social media manager who's ready to level up their skills, this video in this series is gonna change everything for you. I'm Maddie, the founder of Hollis Creative Media, and just a few years ago, I was a beginner freelance social media manager, and honestly, I was just winging it. I had very little knowledge about social media marketing. I actually started my business because I was working for someone else, and they decided to end their business, and this position and this job and this business just kind of fell into my lap. Today, I run a 6-figure social media marketing and video production company, and we are actively scaling, bringing on new clients, expanding our services, and expanding our team. And that's actually why we're filming this today. This series was originally created because I'm in a position where I need to scale my team, but I don't necessarily have the time to dedicate and make sure that they know everything that I need them to know to make sure our clients are receiving streamlined services and streamlined social media strategy across the board. And I realized this would be perfect to share with everyone. So whether you're a business owner who's trying to DIY your social media marketing, kudos to you, it's a full-time job. Maybe you're a beginner social media manager, or maybe you're just someone who's looking to create better systems and more efficient social media strategy within your agency. I'm introducing the exact framework that we use with our clients. So this first portion is going to be broken up into 3 core videos, really focusing on how to develop a social media strategy that actually works for you or your client. We are covering the absolute foundation that should be included in every single social media strategy and every single post before anything goes out to the internet. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start building a social media strategy that actually works for you and your business, let's start with the very beginning, which is building your foundation. Because here's the truth, if you skip this part, nothing else matters. Nothing else that you do, nothing else that you post is going to matter if you don't get clear on the foundation of your social media marketing strategy. You're most likely just going to be posting content and then wondering why it's not working. Before we sign on any client to our agency, we don't just start posting content as soon as they sign on with us. We actually start with a very, very detailed onboarding questionnaire. This questionnaire is not just busy work. It's actually the foundation that we use to help us build a very intentional and a very detailed social media strategy. Now, out of all of the questions that we ask during our onboarding process, there's one in particular that I take the most seriously and that I think is probably the most important. And that question is, what is your why? Why do you or your client want to be on social media? And I'm not looking for surface level answers here. Whether you're a business owner or a social media manager working with a client, understanding the why behind your presence on social media is going to give you an extremely clear goal to be working towards. It's going to determine every single piece of content you create. It's going to determine every single platform that you decide to be on. And it's going to determine every single strategy decision that you make within your marketing journey. But here's where I need to be real with you, especially if you're a social media manager. Not everybody's reason for being on social media is sustainable. And if you're a business owner watching this, pay attention here too, because some of these answers are actually going to set you up for struggle and frustration and wasting your time if you don't really pay attention to them and course correct early on. There should be a deeper reason as to why you want to show up on social media. And one of the first red flags, and probably one of the most common, is that your client wants to go viral. If a potential client's main goal is to go viral, you have to pump the brakes a bit. Virality is not what everyone thinks it is. Virality is not a strategy. Virality does not determine the success of your business. In fact, we have had clients' content go viral and it did absolutely nothing for their marketing strategy. Going viral is unpredictable, it's not sustainable, and it does not always translate into actual results that your business wants to see with social media. You can go viral and get millions of views from people who have no interest in you or what you offer. So if you're a social media manager and this is the answer to your client's question, it's your job to help them dig a little deeper and understand that virality does not equate success. And you should also try to help them discover what their real goal could be, should be. And business owners, if this is your answer, I want you to ask yourself, what would going viral actually do for your business? Or what do you hope that virality does for your business? Usually the real answer is generate more leads, generate more sales, more authority within your industry. And those are goals that we can actually build a strategy around, not just virality. Another red flag is that everyone else is on social media, so I should be too. This tells me that you actually haven't done enough thinking about your goals for social media. You're just kind of doing what everyone else is doing. But realistically, what's going to happen is that you're going to end up frustrated because you don't even know what real success from social media should look like, does look like. You don't really have real goals in place to work towards. So you're always going to be running in this circle and chasing the satisfaction. Oh, I'm posting because everyone else is, I should be too. But you're not actually seeing the results that you want to see because you actually haven't set goals for what those results should be. And I'm going to be completely honest, especially to my social media managers, because clients like this can be very hard to please because they're paying you to be consistent on social media. They want to post every single day, but because they're only focused on posting and not actually focused on generating results, they're never going to be satisfied because they're never going to see any ROI. They're never going to see a return on their investment because they're just focused on posting. They're not actually focused on generating results. So it's your job as a social media manager before you get started with posting to actually help them get clear. Okay, we can post consistently, but what is the desired outcome for this posting consistently? Is it to grow a following? Is it to drive more foot traffic to your business? Is it to drive more online sales? It's your job to help guide them to figuring that out so that every single post that you put out could actually help you achieve those goals. And if you're a business owner who just wants to be posting consistently on social media, there is nothing wrong with that, because realistically, the more you're posting on social media, the more you're increasing your chances of being seen. There is nothing wrong with being on social media. However, like I mentioned to my social media managers, you need to have clear goals in mind. That way, every single post that you're posting is intentional in helping you reach the goals that you actually set for yourself. So whether you're a business owner or you're a social media manager, maybe some of what I just said was relatable, or maybe you're just not super clear on your goals. Social media managers, it's your job to help your client get clear on those goals. And business owners, if you're doing this alone, there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to spend a little more time getting clear on creating SMART goals. Actual, specific, measurable goals that are tangible and you can actually achieve. Otherwise, you're just going to be left in this like universe of vagueness, and you're not actually going to be able to develop a strategy that can help you reach your goals because you have no clear vision or no clear goals in mind. So what do good answers to this question actually look like? A good answer to this question could be, I want to build trust with my audience before they even book a call with me so that that sale is as easy as it can be. I really want to educate my audience so they can really understand the value of my service. I want to build a community around my brand. I want to build a community of people who actually support my business and actually support me, who I can also give as much value in return. So do you see the difference between the original red flags and these new goals that we have? This new set of goals are actually clear. Even if you want to post every single day, if your goal is to post with intention to make sure that your audience can see the value of your business and chooses you over your competitors, you can make sure that every single piece of content that you're putting out actually does that. So once you're clear on the reason why you or your client wants to be on social media, the next step to developing a really solid social media strategy is going to be market research. And this is probably one of the most skipped parts for inexperienced strategists or inexperienced business owners when it comes to social media, because you might see your competitors on social media and you might think, oh, I want to be doing what they're doing. But what if what they're doing doesn't actually work for them? What if they're posting all this trendy content and they're getting likes and they're getting laughs, but it's not actually generating more revenue? They're just posting content and they're probably paying somebody else to do that. So really, they're not making any money, they're losing money. Why would you want to emulate that? And I'm going to break this market research section down into 3 more digestible sections, because each of these sections is actually really important to understanding what you should be putting out onto the internet. And the first one is going to be knowing your target audience. The second one is going to be competitor analysis. And the third is going to be industry trends. And let me be very clear, this is not about copying what your competitors are doing, because like I said, first of all, they might not even be doing what they should be doing to actually generate results and revenue for their business. This is about understanding the market so you can make informed and strategic decisions. So first up is getting to know your target audience. And I need to say this because this is just super important, and it's a very common mistake that a lot of businesses and beginner social media strategists make. Your target audience is not everyone. Not everyone needs to see your content, resonate with your content, believe in your content, follow your content. You are not for everyone, and that is okay, because when you are speaking to everyone, you are actually speaking to no one. You need to get very specific about who you're going to be creating content for. Who is this person? And this can definitely go into the demographics, so their age, their ethnicity, where they live, their income levels, their job title. Now, this is going to be dependent on every single business. So the target audience for a med spa is not going to be the same target audience for a roofing company, or the target audience for a real estate agent who sells luxury listings. That's not even going to be the same target audience for a real estate agent who sells average homes and is working within that average or lower income demographic. And each of these target audiences are going to have different pain points. What exactly do they need help with? What problems can you solve for them? And what are they already consuming on social media? What platforms are they actually active on? What times are they active online? And the more specific you get about your target audience, the better you can actually serve them with the content that you put out. Because instead of just posting content that everyone's gonna enjoy, you're actually gonna be posting content that resonates with them and helps them solve their problems, and they're gonna be going to you within your industry versus going to your competitors, because now they trust you and you're giving them exactly what they need without them even maybe realizing it, that they needed it from you in the first place. So if you're a social media manager and you just brought on a new client, it's your job, which is something that we do during our onboarding questionnaire. This is probably like the 4th question in the questionnaire, but it's, who is your target audience? Who do you typically serve within your business? What do they have in common? What problems do you help them solve? What questions do they ask before they even consider buying into your business and using you as their provider? And even something else to think about is, what objections do they have? If you're a business owner who's been in business for a while, you should probably already know this to a pretty deep degree. But if you're new to your business, this is definitely something that you should really be considering in the services that you offer alone, because it doesn't make sense to offer services to your audience that they might not even need. And the same thing is true for the content that you're putting out. Don't put out content that doesn't actually benefit them. Put out content that they actually need to see and they actually find valuable. Now, once that you've gotten clear on your audience and who you're creating content for, we're gonna go and we're gonna study your competition. And this is called competitor analysis. Competitor analysis is the process of researching other businesses within your niche really understand what's working for them and what's not working for them. Because let me break this down for you. So if someone is in your industry and they actually are doing really well on social media, at least it looks like they're doing well by their follower account, by their engagement, their audience is your target audience. And because they have already had success with their audience / your audience, you can now analyze their accounts and really start paying attention to what kind of content that they're putting out. Is your target audience responding to the content that they're putting out? And if so, how are they responding? What do they really enjoy? What do they not respond to? What works well, what doesn't? And like I said, this is not about copying your competitors. It's about understanding what your shared audience responds to so that you can maybe take that information, and I don't mean take like steal, I mean take like observe and then apply that with your own authenticity, with your own message, with your own background and your beliefs. Okay, so how do you actually do a competitor analysis? I'm gonna break this into a few really simple steps, because it's not as complex as you might think it is. The first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna identify 3 to 5 of your competitors within your niche, specifically on social media, not Google, on social media. So on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, especially depending on which platform you prefer to be on, because this is going to tell you where your audience is hanging out and what type of content that they enjoy. So the best way to search for a competitor within your niche is to actually go into the search bar of whatever platform you're on and use very common keywords for your industry. So for example, if you are a Houston real estate agent, you're gonna go into the search bar and you're gonna type Houston real estate agent. And you're gonna notice that there's an accounts tab and there's a reels tab. Now you can go through each account. This is a conversation for another video, but I'll touch on this very quickly. Optimizing your social media platforms, which means making sure your platforms are actually set up to be searchable, is very, very important. And if you don't know how to do that by now, let me know in the comments and I'll make a completely separate video about that for you. But if there are Houston real estate agents or anyone within your industry who have their platform optimized, meaning that if someone searches for those keywords, their account is going to pop up in that accounts tab. So you'll notice you're probably gonna get a very long list of Houston real estate agents, to just stick with this example. Now, what you could do is you could go through each of these tabs and you could look at their following count, look at their bio, look at their content to see if they have high performing content. Or you can pay attention to the content that has been put out and organized under Houston real estate agent, and you can notice what the top performing content for that niche is. Most likely you're going to be led to content that was done by someone in your industry. So go to that top performing content based on views and you can just scroll through those. Pay attention to the style of content. Pay attention to the text that they used at the beginning of the videos. Pay attention to the hooks that they use, which we have a whole separate video about that within this series. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Pay attention to every little detail to how your target audience is engaging with this content. Why do you think that piece of content performs so well? What is the audience? How are they responding to this content in the comments? Are they sharing it? Are they saving it? Are they just liking it? All of this is data for you to collect about your target audience and can help you with understanding what type of content performs the best in your industry. It can give you guidance on what you can at least start with when we're developing your strategy, assuming that it's aligned with your goals and your vision for your platform. Step 4 is to identify what's not working. This is just as important as identifying what is working. What type of content is not getting the best engagement? What type of content is not performing as well? What are they doing that your audience isn't really aligning with? Is it just that they're maybe not being super authentic? What gaps are you noticing within their content? What could you have done differently that you think would help your audience or give your audience more value or keep them more engaged? Because these are opportunities for you. When you spend time studying what's actually not working, you can think about how you would have improved that, and then you can actually take the steps to create a piece of content that is going to give your audience what they maybe were missing from that piece of content from another creator. Step number 5 is to find your unique angle, because this is where the magic happens. You're not taking their content and completely replicating it, even if it's trendy content. You're looking at what resonates with your shared audience and you're asking yourself, how can I make this authentic to me? What is my unique perspective? What can I add to this conversation that they're not saying? The goal of this entire process is to assess what your audience is already responding to. It's going to make your life so much easier. Figure out how you can put your own twist on what's already working. That way, it's authentic to you and your brand and your business and social media marketing strategy. And finally, we're going to talk about industry trends. Now, this is very different to content that is just trending on social media. To really be successful within your industry, you need to stay on top of what is relevant within your industry. Not just social media as a whole, but specifically within your niche. Because here's the reality. You don't just develop a social media strategy once and run with it forever. Social media is ever evolving. Your industry is ever evolving. And to stay top of mind, you need to stay on top of what's relevant. So how do you actually stay on top of industry trends? You want to make sure that you're following industry leaders and publications that keep you up to date on what's going on within your industry. I mean, that's what any good service provider would do. So when you're scrolling social media, you want to make sure that you're scrolling intentionally. And while you're doing this, go an extra step and take notice about what formats are gaining the most traction. So to stay consistent, I'm going to keep using the real estate example. There's always something going on within the real estate industry, and a lot of our clients are actually subscribed to different real estate publications where they keep you updated on this. Something that we've noticed that performs really, really well within the industry is that the green screen effect, where you have the article behind you and then you're reporting on whatever the article is about. This is a great opportunity to take something that's already working in your industry and add your own twist to it. By paying attention to those kind of things, you're going to get better at the content creation process. It's going to become easier for you, and you're also going to be giving your audience something really valuable that they can also learn from while staying on top of what's already working on social media. Everything that we've covered so far is the foundation of your social media strategy. If you skip this step, nothing else is going to matter, because you are just going to be posting on social media without an actual destination or without actual goals in mind. In the next video, we're going to take everything that you learned here and turn it into a social media strategy that is actually going to work for you. We're talking content pillars, monthly themes, and creating a content calendar that actually works. If you found this video valuable, go ahead and subscribe, because we are putting out a full strategy development series right here on YouTube. And if you're a business owner who needs a little bit more help or a little bit more guidance developing your social media marketing strategy, go ahead and reach out to us, because we are a full service social media marketing and video production agency. We do everything from social media strategy development, where we develop it, pass it off to you, you take the reins. And we also provide a completely hands-off service to where all you really have to do is show up. I have all of those details in the description below. I'll see you in the next video.